tips is one, you don't need cash here. You don't need to exchange it. Trust. You just have a card that you can pay, preferably Visa as well, because like sometimes they have a bit of a exchange, like an extra fee for foreign cards. But even if you have it from a Danish bank and it's MasterCard, they still charge that fee. It's a hidden fee on your receipt, but it's not too big. As long as you have Apple Pay, some card, you're good to go. I think they try not to accept cash as well because it makes life easier and people just don't pay in it. And then two is that if you're here and don't want to cycle, I highly recommend using public transport, and don't buy the ticket from like the ticket machine. Just use your app. So there's this app called DOT, and that's basically like the public transport app, which is all inclusive. When you buy a ticket, it will include the bus, the train, the metro in it. And all you need to do is enter your current location and the destination you want, and it will automatically calculate the route that you want to get to. You don't need to worry about it too much, because when you go to the machine, you have to first keep the paper item with you everywhere, and also you need to search like what zone it's located in. And when you're traveling there for the first time, especially, you're like, I don't know what zone I'm in and I don't know where else. And the ticket machine is only like, you can find it in the metro station. So when you go to buses, they don't accept card payment, or as far as I've seen, like no one pays on the buses. The only time you see someone tapping in is because they have something called a Reisecode card. And that's a card that technically tourists can also buy. It costs money to buy the physical card, and also then you have to top up, which you can't get back your money anyway. So you might as well just use this app. If you get the ticket, you don't need to scan anything, because there's like there's scanning areas, and that's not for you. It's only when the guy comes over, and the ticket has a time limit. For what I really like doing is that when I bought my ticket and then I set extra time once I got to my destination, I need to get somewhere else, then I could still use the same card and it'll still work. If you have the guy coming over to scan your ticket, you just go to where the timer is and then you swipe up, and there's this QR code, and that's what he wants to see. And it connects straight to, because I use iPhone, so it connects straight to Apple Pay. You don't need to enter your card details, so it's also super fast and really convenient. For no need to think about it too much. So bicycles, they are a huge thing, and they're like this. It just goes in huge packs. And then when I went to Copenhagen, wow, it's a bigger activity than I expected. So even when I like Googled it, because I was so shocked, I was like saying, yeah, Copenhagen is actually like #1 in the most bike-friendly places. Amsterdam second. Lots of bike rental shops around that tourists can buy, or they also can rent. And then there's also apps. Voi is an app that you can rent e-scooters or e-bikes, and Donkey Republic, which is another app for you to rent normal bikes. They have different locations around the city. The only thing I would say is that not everyone can bike. If it's your first time biking ever, or it's been really long and you have no confidence in being a stable cyclist, then it's probably in your best interest to not cycle in Copenhagen. Maybe practice somewhere else once and they come over, because they're basically cars at this point with how much traffic they have. They have very good bike lanes all over town. They have traffic lights meant for the bikers as well. So if you're used to biking or want to, this is a perfect place. You'll see different variations of bikes, which I've never seen before. You should wear a helmet. It's not a requirement, but for your safety, there are rules that could get you fined if you cycle without knowing them. So there's basic rules because of the bike lane structure. So you always have to stay on the right, just like cars in Denmark. And then you need to know how to say you're gonna stop, so that all the other bikers will know. And if you don't do the hand signals, other cyclists will get really mad at you. So you have to tell them left, right, stopping. Also, if you cycle at night and your bike doesn't have a light, you can get fined as well, because that's illegal. And my last tip is that people will talk to you in Danish first, but if you're in Copenhagen, everyone speaks English, so you just tell them like English please, or if you want to say in Danish is "Hele English," which is "Do you speak English?" which is the most common phrase that I use personally, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, okay," and then they'll switch it up for you. But it seems that they always approach to you first with Danish because they will assume that you're like, oh, maybe it's just nice in a way if you want to ever practice. What people like to say is that Danish people are nice, but maybe not friendly. So they're more reserved people, but if you need help, they will help you. Honestly, I really like their culture here, the people here. Even though I've met some suspicious people, overall, the general population I've met and connected with, I just feel like the culture that they have is so cozy and feels so right. The Hug concept is essentially that they really take care of their home, their family, themselves, because life will always have something going on. And if you don't stay present and cultivate the connections that you have, then what for are you working so hard at work when your own private life is in shambles? And that just feels amazing to hear and even carry forward into wherever else I go to. Apparently, they have a department called the happiness department that other countries come over just to visit and learn more about how to be happy. So something that we don't. So